Have you ever felt like someone's option rather than their priority? Have you ever been abandoned and wondered if they would ever regret losing you? Do they truly see your value, or do they only want you back when they see you thriving without them? Human psychology is fascinating. People often don't appreciate what they have until they lose it. They only start valuing you when they realize you are no longer available to them. Today, we are going to uncover powerful psychological strategies that will help you regain control after a breakup. But let me be clear, this is not about manipulation, it's about reclaiming your self-worth and becoming the best version of yourself. Imagine this: you were in a relationship where you gave everything, your time, energy, love, and commitment. But one day, they walked away, as if all of that meant nothing. You felt broken, questioning your own worth. But what if I told you that by shifting your focus inward and following key psychological principles, you could turn the tables? You could make them regret ever letting you go, and more importantly, you could find peace, strength, and a sense of fulfillment that does not depend on them. This is not about chasing after them. It's about becoming the kind of person who does not need them, who thrives with or without them. And paradoxically, when they see that version of you, they will begin to miss what they lost. So stay with me until the end of this video, because today we're diving deep into why people regret losing someone only after it's too late. How to use psychology to shift the power dynamic in your favor. The step-by-step process to make them chase you instead. And by the time we're done, you won't just understand their mind, you'll understand your own worth like never before. Now, let's begin. Regret has a way of creeping up on people when they least expect it. The moment they realize they no longer have access to you, something shifts. At first, they may act like they don't care, but over time, the weight of their decision begins to set in. How do you know if they truly regret losing you? What are the subtle and obvious signs that their mind is starting to change? Let's break them down one by one. There was a time when they ignored you, when your messages went unanswered, or worse, when they blocked you. It seemed like they had moved on effortlessly. But suddenly, out of nowhere, they reappear. A simple, "Hey, how have you been?" or even a random excuse to reach out. Why does this happen? It's not just coincidence or politeness. This is a psychological response to loss. When you disappear from their life completely, their brain starts processing that absence like a missing puzzle piece. Humans are wired to want what they can't have, and when you're no longer available, their subconscious begins to magnify your value. Let's break it down. When you were always there, sending messages, showing concern, keeping the connection alive, they never had to wonder about your presence. But the moment you stop trying, their mind starts questioning. What are they up to? Have they moved on? Are they happier without me? That curiosity can quickly turn into regret. They may reach out casually, pretending it's just a friendly check-in. But don't be fooled, this is their way of testing the waters, seeing if they still have an open door into your life. So, what should you do when they come back? Don't react emotionally. Stay calm, collected, and indifferent. Don't give them instant gratification. Let them wonder. A delayed response creates more intrigue. Remember your worth. You are not an option, you are a priority. If they truly regret losing you, they'll have to prove it with real effort, not just a weak "hey." This is where your power lies, not in seeking validation, but in standing firm in your self-worth. You haven't spoken in weeks, maybe even months. They haven't messaged you, haven't tried to reach out. Yet, every time you post a new story, their name is at the top of the viewer list. They're the first to like your new pictures. Sometimes, they even drop a subtle comment, something casual, yet deliberate. Why? This is a clear psychological sign of regret and curiosity. When someone watches your life from a distance but doesn't engage directly, it's because they're caught in an emotional conflict. They don't want to admit they miss you, but they also can't look away. Psychologically, this happens because of the scarcity effect. The moment they lost direct access to you, their mind started perceiving you as more valuable. The fact that you are no longer actively updating them about your life makes them even more eager to find out what you're doing. Here's what's really happening inside their mind. Curiosity, they want to know if you've moved on, if you're happy, if you're with someone new. Ego and control, they might not want you back yet, but they don't want to feel like they've lost their influence over you. Regret, they start to see what they took for granted, now displayed for them on a screen, but they can't be part of it anymore. So, how should you respond? Do nothing. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Don't engage. If they wanted a real conversation, they would reach out directly. Keep glowing. Show them that life moves forward, with or without them. By focusing on your own life, you shift the power dynamic. The more they watch, the more they feel the loss. And the more they regret letting you go. Have you ever been at your favorite coffee shop, minding your own business, when suddenly, there they are? Your ex, casually happening to be at the same place, at the same time, looking just as surprised as you? Coincidence? Hardly. When an ex deliberately places themselves in your space, it's rarely an accident. This is a psychological tactic, a way to gauge your reaction, test your emotional response, and see if they still hold any power over you. Why do they do this? They want to see if you still care. They're looking for clues. Do you smile? Do you avoid eye contact? Do you look uncomfortable? They regret losing you but don't want to admit it. Instead of reaching out directly, they use fate as an excuse to see you. They want to trigger emotions in you. Seeing them in person forces an emotional response, whether it's nostalgia, anger, or sadness. How should you react? Stay composed. Act as if their presence doesn't affect you. Be polite, but distant. A casual, "Hey, how are you?" and then move on. Don't give them what they want. If they're testing you, don't let them see your reaction. Remember, if they truly wanted to talk to you, they wouldn't be relying on accidental run-ins. This is about them, not you. Stay in control. Have you ever received a message from your ex saying, "Hey, do you remember that time we stayed up all night talking about our dreams?" Or maybe they bring up that unforgettable trip you took together, reminiscing about the laughter, the inside jokes, the small, seemingly insignificant moments that once made your connection special. This isn't just nostalgia. It's a sign of regret. Why do they do this? They're trying to reawaken emotions. They know that emotions are tied to memories. By bringing up shared experiences, they hope to rekindle those feelings in you. They miss what they lost. These memories remind them of what they had, and what they no longer do. They're testing the waters. If you engage, they'll take it as a sign that you still care. If you ignore it, they'll feel the sting of your absence even more. How should you react? Recognize the intention. They're not just reminiscing, they're fishing for a reaction. Don't fall into the trap of romanticizing the past. Your relationship ended for a reason. Stay in control. If you choose to respond, keep it light and neutral. If they truly valued those memories, they wouldn't have left in the first place. Remember, regret is not the same as change. Have you ever noticed your ex suddenly posting pictures with someone new, making sure you see it? Or perhaps they've transformed their look, hitting the gym, changing their style, doing everything they can to show you they're thriving without you? This is not a coincidence. Why do they do this? They want to provoke jealousy. If they can get a reaction from you, it means you still care. Even a negative response gives them power. They want to prove they've changed. By improving their appearance or lifestyle, they hope to show you that they're a better version of themselves, one that you might regret leaving. They need validation. Deep down, they wonder if you still think about them. Seeing you notice their transformation feeds their ego. How should you react? Don't engage in their game. If they're trying to make you jealous, your best move is indifference. Understand their insecurity. This isn't about them moving on, it's about them seeking your attention. Keep your focus on yourself. The best revenge is not proving them wrong, it's living well, genuinely for yourself. If they truly changed for the better, it wouldn't be for your approval. Real growth doesn't need an audience. Why do people regret losing someone? Is it just nostalgia, or is there something deeper happening in their minds? Regret isn't random, it follows a predictable psychological pattern. When someone walks away, they often expect to feel relief or freedom. But over time, their brain rewires their perception, making them reevaluate what they lost. Today, we'll break down the key psychological triggers that cause regret after a breakup, and why, in many cases, it's too little, too late. English version. Loss aversion effect, why losing you hurts more than winning elsewhere. Psychologists have long studied loss aversion, a cognitive bias where humans feel more pain from losing something than joy from gaining something new. In relationships, this explains why an ex may initially feel relief after leaving, but over time, the weight of losing you becomes unbearable. Consider this: if someone gives you $100, you'll feel happy. But if someone takes $100 from you, the pain is far greater than the happiness of receiving it. People hate losing more than they love winning. When they left, they thought they were making a rational decision. But as time passes, they start romanticizing what they lost, especially if you've improved yourself and moved on. Suddenly, the relationship they took for granted feels irreplaceable. How to use this to your advantage? Instead of chasing them, disappear. Let them feel the absence. Improve yourself, not for them, but so that you genuinely become the best version of yourself. Let them realize that losing you is their real loss, and by the time they regret it, it may already be too late. Golden memory effect, why they only remember the good times. The human brain is wired to filter out painful memories and highlight positive ones, a psychological bias known as the golden memory effect. After a breakup, the mind subconsciously erases or minimizes the negative moments while amplifying the good times. At first, they might feel confident about their decision to leave. But as time passes, the emotional distance rewrites their memories, making them recall only the laughter, deep conversations, and special moments you shared, not the fights, the disagreements, or the reasons they walked away. Real-life example: have you ever looked back at an old relationship and thought, it wasn't that bad, was it? That's your brain selectively forgetting the pain, making it seem better than it actually was. How does this work in your favor? Do not remind them of the bad times. Let their mind do the work. The more you stay away, the more they idealize the past. Focus on self-improvement. When they see you thriving, it reinforces the idea that they lost someone truly valuable. Be selective in your interactions. If they reach out, keep things light and positive, allowing them to feel nostalgia without confrontation. Eventually, the regret sets in, and they begin to wonder, why did I ever let them go? Grass is greener syndrome, when they think they can do better. Many people leave a relationship believing that something better awaits them. This is known as grass is greener syndrome, the illusion that another relationship will bring more happiness, excitement, and fulfillment. At first, they may feel liberated, thinking they made the right choice. However, when reality sets in, they start realizing that the new person is not as perfect as they imagined. They still face problems in their new relationship, just different ones. What they thought they disliked about you was not the real issue. Real-life example: someone leaves their long-term partner, thinking they will find a more passionate relationship. But once the honeymoon phase of their new romance fades, they begin to miss the depth, trust, and stability they once had. How does this work in your favor? Don't chase them. Let them experience the contrast between you and their new reality. Live your best life. Show that you don't need them, and suddenly, they'll wonder why they ever left. If they come back, question their motives. Do they truly regret losing you, or are they just escaping their disappointment? Once they realize the grass wasn't greener, they will look back and regret losing you. But by then, you'll have the power to decide whether they deserve a second chance. How to make them regret losing you, the power shift begins. Now that we understand why they regret leaving, the next question is, how do you ensure they truly feel that regret? More importantly, how do you turn this situation into an opportunity for personal growth? The key is not revenge, not manipulation, but transformation. When you shift your focus from them to yourself, something powerful happens. They start to feel your absence, and you regain control over your life. In this section, we will explore strategic yet ethical ways to make them regret losing you without losing yourself in the process. Step 1, the power of disappearing, no contact rule. Disappearing completely is not about playing games, but about creating space for them to feel the weight of your absence. No texting. No calls. No liking their photos. When you remove yourself from their daily life, something interesting happens. The human brain is wired to react strongly to loss. It is not the constant presence of something that makes it valuable, but the realization of its absence. Imagine this: you used to be always available, answering texts instantly, reacting to their stories, checking in on them. And then, suddenly, silence. The void left behind will force them to process your absence. This is where the loss aversion effect kicks in. People fear losing something more than they enjoy gaining something new. When they can no longer access you, they start to question their decisions. But the real secret? This is not just about them, it's about you. This space is also for you to regain clarity, self-worth, and independence. If they truly valued you, this is when they'll feel it the most. If they didn't, then you've already begun the process of moving forward, stronger than ever. Step 2, focus on yourself and grow. One of the biggest mistakes people make after a breakup is waiting for the other person to come back. But here's the truth: no one is attracted to desperation. Instead of looking back, look forward. This is your opportunity to become the best version of yourself. Prioritize your health, exercise, eat well, and take care of your body. When you feel good physically, you radiate confidence. Upgrade your appearance. This is not about changing for them but about loving yourself enough to present your best self to the world. Master your finances and career. Focus on building stability and success. Nothing is more attractive than a person who is in control of their life. Expand your social life, reconnect with friends, build new relationships, and engage in activities that bring you joy. Here's the psychology behind it: when you disappear and improve, you trigger something powerful: curiosity and admiration. They start wondering, how are they doing so well without me? Your success and happiness will make them regret losing you. But the best part? You're not doing this for them, you're doing it for you. And once you realize how much you've grown, you might not even want them back anymore. Step 3, the energy of letting go, law of detachment. One of the most powerful psychological shifts you can make is letting go of expectations. The moment you stop waiting for them to return, you regain control of your emotions and life. Here's what happens when you detach. You stop chasing, which makes them start wondering why. You radiate confidence, because you're no longer emotionally dependent on them. They feel the loss more deeply, because you are no longer accessible. Example from real life: think of a time when you wanted something so badly, but the moment you stopped caring, it suddenly appeared in your life. The same applies to relationships. When your ex sees that you've truly moved on, it triggers curiosity and regret in their mind. Psychology behind it: people crave what they can't have. When they realize you are no longer emotionally available, they start questioning their decision to leave. What you need to do: stop checking their social media. Focus 100% on your personal growth. Start living your best life for you, not for them. By embracing detachment, you shift the power dynamic. Instead of waiting for them, you become the one who decides if they even deserve to come back. Step 4. Control the game. The moment they come back, you must remember, you are in control now. It's tempting to immediately embrace their return, but pause. Ask yourself. Are they returning because they truly love and respect you? Or are they just feeling lonely, nostalgic, or bored? Have they shown genuine change, or are they repeating old patterns? Example from real life. Imagine someone who left you, thinking they could find something better. But when they realize their mistake, they come running back. The question is, do they deserve a second chance? Small blue diamond psychology behind it. People always want what seems difficult to obtain. If you immediately accept them back, the cycle might repeat. But if you evaluate their actions carefully, they will have to prove themselves. Small blue diamond, what you need to do. Don't be too available. Let them feel that they have to work to regain your trust. Set boundaries. Make sure their return aligns with your values, not just their needs. Ask yourself, am I happier alone, or with them back in my life? The true power shift happens when you choose your happiness over nostalgia. They may regret losing you, but you decide if they ever get a second chance. Conclusion and call to action. No one has the right to define your worth, only you do. Never beg for love. If it has to be forced, it is no longer love. You have walked through the psychology of regret, the signs they want to come back, and the strategies to regain control. But the ultimate truth is, your happiness should never depend on someone else's validation. Realization. If someone left you and only regrets it when they see you thriving, did they ever truly love you, or were they just afraid of losing control? Empowerment. Your focus should always be on becoming the best version of yourself, not to prove anything to them, but to live a fulfilled, independent, and powerful life. When you are truly at peace, you won't even care if they come back or not. Call to action. Have you ever experienced this situation? Share your story below. If this video gave you a new perspective, like and share so more people can transform their lives.